What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now it seems like everyone is all elite right now, but can AEW deliver the goods now that it's stacked its roster? Join us now as we look at this week's edition of AEW Dynamite and look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, as well as the latest news stories including Shane McMahon gone from WWE, is Randy Orton injured, Alexa Bliss taking off time for surgery, an ex-WWE superstar signs with AEW, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we're not going to recap the show, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. And fans are still talking about the poignant episode of Dynamite that paid homage to Mr. Brody Lee following his shocking passing, and last night's episode is already getting rave reviews for honoring the late great wrestler's memory when AEW rolled in his hometown of Rochester, New York. This was just a perfect tribute to Lee and a great chance for Lee's son to see how much his dad meant to the fans and his fellow wrestlers. It was a touching night and had us all misty-eyed, and while Grinches online might complain that AEW is exploiting Lee's memory, the reality is that it would be insulting not to honor his memory in his hometown. Number 2, -1 steps up. The current storyline of the Dark Order falling apart has fans wondering whether a new leader will take over, and while that's possible, it was great to see Mr. Brody Lee's son -1 step up and shame Evil Uno into returning to the ring. Showing -1 throwing the trademark papers at Evil Uno was a great touch, but we'll have to see how long Evil Uno gives into the sentiment and whether he's going to turn back to his evil ways. Judging by JR's commentary, it seems likely that last night's reconciliation may not be permanent. Number 3, MJF name drops Bruce Pritchard. Once again, MJF proved why he's cutting the best heel promos in wrestling right now, and that there's no subject that's taboo on his list. Last night, AEW's constant complainer brought up his familiar refrain that he's not getting the recognition he deserves in AEW. But like any good heel promo, MJF's rant subtly put over other wrestlers, in this case Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin, while putting himself over as well. Things took a surprise turn when MJF said he'd better start getting what he deserves, as he has Bruce Pritchard on speed dial. The mention of one of the WWE's most powerful executives raised plenty of eyebrows and set the stage for Darby Allin confronting MJF. Now, although MJF's career isn't ending anytime soon, this was a clever way to show what a hot commodity is and do a bit of fan service. As good as the Bruce Pritchard reference was, MJF didn't stop there, mentioning that Tony is his second favourite Khan and calling Darby Allin a school shooter. Damn. Number 4, Sting, I'm too old for this. Last night's Dynamite featured a hilarious spot where Sting said, well, F it, had stopped him from jumping the barricade, a sly sign he understands performing stunts like that is a young man's game. The 62-year-old wrestler still surprises fans with the quality of his in-ring work, but those crazy days are thankfully long over and the Stinger has nothing else to prove. Number 5, a memorable match. Last night's opener between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy was the perfect way to start the night with both wrestlers putting on the proverbial clinic. AEW is working hard to put on Cole over as a top star, but he's also making his opponents look strong by cutting corners to get wins. As good as last night's match was, it showed AEW's growing problem of how to book its new stars without sacrificing established ones. As counterintuitive as it may sound, there can be a time when having too much quality talent is actually a bad thing. AEW's next few months will be a tremendous test for the company as it tries to balance its booking. Number 6, Arn Anderson's armed and angry. It's been said that adversity introduces a man to himself, but last night's Dynamite showed adversity introducing a man to his old self, as Coach Arn Anderson blasted Cody Rhodes for his recent performance against Malachi Black. Anderson cut a promo strongly suggesting Arn, who's been coaching Cody, isn't the kind grandfatherly figure he's been presented as. After telling Cody to be quiet, Arn told the American Nightmare, a man jerks your door open and says, out of the car, I'm taking your car. You can take it, just don't hurt me. You know what I do? I pull out the Glock, I put it to his forehead and spill his brains all over the concrete. I'm Arn Anderson, and all that implies, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna coach a loser. Damn, what a promo. And a colossal championship change. Sammy Guevara's TNT title win was both a colossal championship change, but a great way to cap off Dynamite dedicated to Mr. Brody Lee. This was a great win for Sammy, who has come a long way since his AEW debut, and whose win meant a lot due to defeating a seemingly unstoppable opponent. Amir has been more than a dominant TNT champion, he's been a monster heel who has steamrolled over opponents, occasionally resorting to underhanded tactics, but largely winning by sheer power and brutality. Guevara has his work cut out for him, but the match was brilliantly booked with Mira's cheating tactics backfiring and Guevara using his speed and agility to capitalize. Now that Mira has lost the TNT belt, it's time to push him into the main event. But that was good. What about the baddest? Number 1, a 16-man mess. As touching as the Dark Order's reunion was last night, the 16 match was a hot mess bordering on self-indulgency as about quickly broke out of control. I get it, fans have seen bigger matches than this, but neither one was sloppy like this one. Anyone critical of AEW's tendency for excessive high spots had plenty of ammunition from last night's 16-man mess. Number 2, a woeful women's match. AEW's women's division has shown some improvement lately, with its undercard stars showing that they're working hard to improve. However, last night's tag team match between the tandems of Penelope Ford and the Bunny vs Anna Jay and Tay Conti was a classic example of 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And number 3, cancel what chant. While it's unlikely to happen, fans need to stop with the what chants. Not only are the chants disrespectful to a wrestler's attempt to cut a promo, but it's one of these annoying examples of fans making their shows about themselves. Can we just end this crap already? Still, on a brighter note, Ethan Page found a way to shut up the attention-starved idiot. Now, there was nothing downright ugly about last night's show, as Dynamite proved another strong show. As mentioned, the women's division still needs a lot of work, and AEW has to find a balancing act with its ginormous roster. So far, Dynamite continues to perform strongly, and this was an excellent tribute to Mr. Brody Lee. What did you guys think of Dynamite? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. As our first story looks at Shane McMahon finish with WWE. Topping today's news is a wild rumor concerning Shane McMahon, as Wrestling Inc. and Fightful report that Shane McMahon is finished with the WWE. According to Wrestling Inc., Shane McMahon has been working as a talent but is no longer under contract. However, Wrestling Inc. added that the WWE insists that Shane is still a WWE talent and under a deal. Another report indicates Shane is rarely seen at WWE's business offices, and has people wondering where this is a repeat of 2009 where Shane left the company. Do you guys think Shane McMahon is completely done with WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Alexa Bliss getting surgery, and more details are coming in on what looks to be an extended hiatus for Alexa Bliss. Now, we recently hinted that it looks like Alexa Bliss is not only revamping her character, but taking time off before returning. Now, PW Insider's Mike Johnson is reporting Alexa Bliss was written off television as of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, as she is scheduled for an upcoming sinus surgery. PWInsider.com has not confirmed how long she will be out of this writing. As we reported earlier, Bliss's fellow superstar Sheamus underwent surgery for his 2nd week. PW Insider reports it's believed Sheamus will also be out for a few weeks. Next up, Randy Orton injured. Should fans add Randy Orton to the growing list of superstars sidelined by injuries? Orton, who missed time off recently, may not be ready to rumble, as PW Insider is reporting that he's not been cleared to perform. As fans know, wrestlers often work through a number of minor injuries that occasionally turn into something substantial that requires time off. Just how much time the Viper needs off is unknown, and if his situation mirrors other wrestlers out on medical leave, it's unlikely the WWE will give the universe any indication of when to expect him back. Next up, WWE superstar returning to the ring after a year. Sonya Deville has been absent from a WWE ring since 2020, but it looks like the current on-air authority figure is coming back soon. You'll likely recall that Deville took time off after a stalker allegedly broke into her home in an ill-fated attempt to kidnap her. Now the WWE seems to be getting things ready for a Naomi vs Sonya Deville program, with Wrestling News' Paul Davis reporting Deville has been training at the PC for months in anticipation of her return to the ring. Deville is a promising talent, and she should definitely help improve the WWE's women's division. And finally, an ex-WWE superstar signs with AEW. Last but not least, congratulations to AEW's latest hire. And we're not talking about the meme currently circulating that Arn Anderson's Glock is all elite, but the signing of former WWE superstar Leo Rush. This isn't Rush's first stint with the company, as he debuted in May's Casino Battle Royal, but retired shortly after suffering a shoulder injury. Rush, now calling himself El Biolio, appeared on Dynamite and is portraying himself as a businessman character. But there you have it, folks, the good, the bad and the downright ugly of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.